your point in trying to help me get rid of the fucking echo.
Recording has now been restarted.
Okay.
And we are
So-
good. Everything is good. Yes, okay.
I will say out the gate, we are going to be starting with the two who didn't get to go last time. And just to clarify, which of you are going first?
Do it. Kill me. Do it at one. Make it count.
You sure?
Mm,
Mia,
yes.
do you want some time to consider that decision?
No.
Okay. Then we're going to Lance.
Oh, goody.
I'll leave it up to you. Are you in your dorm?
Probably somewhere in the halls, just
Are you
munching on.
sure?
Yes. Munching on a quick snack.
If you're certain. So,
Certain.
you've... Just when I said you guys couldn't bullshit your way around me, you had to try.
What do you mean?
You know what? Fuck it, let's go. You're wandering through the halls, Lance, and it is not exactly past curfew so much as it is there are no students in the halls. And there's no students in the classrooms either. It is late enough to where you probably shouldn't have been able to get out of your dorm room, whether because they were expecting you to be asleep, or because you managed to sneak out. Regardless of the situation that you found yourself in, you're currently munching on one of your snacks that you brought with you. You're kind of going from sect to sect of the entire world, which shouldn't be as easy to traverse or as fast to traverse as it is. And you know you're not allowed off-world, not without the proper paperwork, the proper pass, knowing what you need to say. It's all a hassle. You'd rather not, and not at this time of night. And you've managed to find yourself in one of your old dorms. Or rather, the hallway leading to one of your old dorms. And it's quaint, almost. It's silent, and you realize these dorms, your dorm specifically, hasn't been touched since the moment you and Persephone left it. As well as the others you were staying with, of course. First years tend to share rooms with multiple other people because there's a lot of first years and they don't exactly cut it sometimes for the second year. Not that anybody's kicked out, more than it's a bit of a strict regime in first year. And you're just walking. Do you approach the door to your old dorm?
After doing a quick, look around to make sure no one else is anywhere. Yes.
And you step inside. I'm going to get your map, and some people from the very first test session of this game are going to realize what it is. Lance, you step inside, and because of the way that the academy is built in this sect, it is basically soundproof. If there's a big enough explosion, they'll definitely hear it, but it'll sound muffled. But they'll know it's an explosion because of the loudness that it traveled. You and Persephone found that out the hard way when you were testing that exact theory. And you can't help but chuckle to yourself thinking about the days where you didn't have to worry about that. The days where the biggest concern that you had was attracting a teacher's attention far past the first year's functional curfew, including to the workshops. And it occurs to you, you haven't seen Persephone since you've been back. Is Lance worried?
Probably just like not full blown like anxiety spike, but somewhere like in the middle. Definitely worried because he would have at least caught her somewhere in this between coming back and now.
You have that realization of, even if she was avoiding me, I still would have at least seen her. And you pause in mid-bite, kind of concerned, yet not really. Persephone is far stronger than you and much scarier, and you know that to be certain. But not Persephone. You remember the times where you would wake up and she would be staring at the ceiling, not contemplating life, but contemplating the opposite. And it's not as if she wanted to die. It's just that she was one of the first of few in first year's history to understand that learning to wield a keyblade, regardless of if you went into the Magic Kingdom's army, basically marked you for death, and not a painless one. And you remember that conversation that you had, oh, so long ago now. It feels like centuries that happened, but it was only just a year. Like, to be specific, it's almost a year to the day now that you had that conversation. And you can remember how she used to speak of keyblades and how they were death sentences for anybody who wielded them, and how she envied the people who could wield magic without keyblades, how she envied Professor Saitos because of flaunting that ability as if it was a natural thing. And she was never the type to be wrathful in her envy, but it would always sit in her chest. Not like a poison, but like a storm. She was an envious person. You were the reason she didn't act on it, so you can only help but worry where she is now. Where does Lance go first in the storm?
Over towards the bookshelves. Just, you know.
You walk over towards the bookshelves and you don't know what you were expecting, but seeing every book rearranged and misplaced and off-kilter, and most of them you don't recognize, even for remembering some of your books from first year practice. This dorm specifically, the people who sleep in those beds or no longer sleep in those beds if they were ever remade. No one's in this room except you. And it's a lonely feeling that you get of no matter how many people are around you, some part of you will always feel isolated. Because that's how it's always been. And you recall that. You were always the weird kid, the one nobody wanted to talk to, because they didn't know if you were, devil spawn or worse, someone they didn't understand. And in that moment where it's daunting to realize that so much has changed since you were young, before you were a changeling, before you were an afflicted. Before all of this, before everything, before you're heartless, before your change, before trying to blend in with the populace only to be exiled a little bit more, you realize Persephone was the first person who walked up to you, regardless of when you found out she was also a changeling. She was the first person who looked at you trying to scare her off because you were too hurt to think about someone else leaving, and she laughed and said, "You're gonna have to try harder than that," and dragged you off to a workshop to vent your frustrations in a healthy way. You weren't supposed to be in there, but these books remind you of why you changed your attitude from destruction to creation. What's the next thing you do?
I'm guessing this is a table.
Roll a perception check. This is not for recognizing if it's the table or not.
Perception.
Mm-hmm.
26.
You recognize this table. It hasn't moved since the moment it was horribly skewed out of proportion. It used to be a straight table, and now, just like how you and Persephone used to joke, it's about as straight as you guys are. A little dented in from repeated hits to the table after a raucous game night, dragging people over from the dorm across the hall, yelling to the rest of the populace in this sect if they would join in a game, and it would be packed enough that it would constitute as a dorm party. You both were beloved for what you offered, not for who you were, and you both knew that. It didn't bother you because you had each other. And you even spot the same old stains and same old pencil markings of where Persephone ran out of time or patience or even the right pencil or pen and just took it out on the table. And it makes you smile softly, but that gnawing sense of concern reminds you that you haven't seen her. Have I killed you yet?
No. Just about, but no.
Good, because we're not even halfway through. Anyway, where's the next place you go?
Just gonna stop at the door to the bedrooms, to the beds.
Normally you would hear the thrum of electronic light, LED, something stolen, refurbished, redone, done better, because Persephone built it. And she always did hate the glow of candlelight for some reason. She told you once that she didn't like the smell of candle wax, and you had a moment for thinking about it as you were about to agree that it smelled awful, and you laughed instinctively and went, "Candle wax normally doesn't have a smell. That's the burning you're smelling." And she just stared at you and went, "No, it has a smell. It's just not the one I want." And it was the one time you had disagreed. And it makes you smile again, just the ever so fondest smile, because it showed that you were willing to disagree on something small before you disagreed on something large. And eventually you did. Eventually you had that big fight over by the hearth. And you can't help but wander closer to it as the memory echoes in the back of your head. You remember that day. It wasn't even night, not yet dusk, but the day had passed. It was sunset outside. And you were not loud, but the way you spoke was. And Persephone was trying to get you to understand her perspective, her understanding of why you guys should pack up, leave, go home, or go to a new one, a world where they can't find you. And it wasn't that you did anything wrong or that she did anything wrong. It's just that she was scared and you knew it, and she didn't want to see it. She had found out something about Keyblades. She was trying to inform you that they're a curse, that they're a death sentence. She repeated that over and over again. It's going to mark us for death. Someone's going to kill us for it. And she was paranoid for a long time during that argument. And eventually you managed to calm her to a point of resting, as she had started to cry at some point, and it was making you worried that she had been afflicted in a bad way. You remember the statement she made to you that made you question what you did when you were younger. What's the use of a Keyblade if it only serves to kill you?
Even if it kills me, at least it'll protect someone else.
As you say that, you don't necessarily see it, but you are closer to the hearth, to the fireplace. It shouldn't be burning. The embers shouldn't catch. The embers should be long dead, long gone, dissolved into ash. But between one blink and the next, they burst into life, not with a crackle and a pop of firewood, but with the whisper of a phrase that eludes you. Not magic, but perhaps belief. And you don't feel it so much as you notice the feeling of something standing behind you. And you know it's not malicious, because it's the same feeling you got when you were younger.
And immediately just that plastic smile again. Just, hey, long time no see.
I'm actually going to make a token for this, just because you did that.
Oh boy.
Hold a moment. Love you, motherfucker. I'm gonna get you.
You can try.
I don't need to.
Eventually I'll become immune to the bone theft.
You can't become immune to something when you constantly avoid it, I believe.
Am I actively avoiding it right now? No. In fact, I'm walking even closer towards it.
Sure. Sure you are. Oh, this will be fun. Behind you, you've never seen him, them, it. You've never really asked for a gender, and quite frankly, you're not sure it understands the concept. But behind you stands a very, very, very tall individual with a long red coat spun into whirling coattails that curl behind him. And he has shaggy brown hair and almost porcelain pale skin. And his eyes are pitch black. There's no pupil, there's no light, there's just a pitch black void. But you can see the smile and it looks human enough. And of course, yes, this is an old friend of yours. The same one who made that deal with you oh so long ago. The one that turned you into this, into who you are, who you want to be. It's the Heartless that approached you. And normally it doesn't approach you for many things anymore, having given you what you want. But for some reason it has shown its face towering over you at 8 foot. And it grins. Hello, boy. How are you doing in my circus again?
It's just kind of gives a stretch. So, you know, same old, same old. I got my Keyblade.
So I noticed. It will do well for the things you want. And with a twirl of something that shouldn't be there, a conductor's baton twirls into existence and it just dances it through its fingers, curling and like weaving almost some sort of magic. And true enough, because of what you have done to give this heartless form, perhaps it does have magic where otherwise it had tricks. You're not sure anymore. You're not sure if you can be sure about anything about this thing. But nonetheless, it seems playful, but then again it always does. You know, there's a difference between searching through the luggage and rugged past. You know, being bogged down by it. Laugh a little, remember?
Yeah, live, laugh, love.
Has nothing to do with love. Where did you hear that? Oh, wait. Was it her? The girl?
I feel like Lance's silence would be like answer more than an answer enough.
Perhaps I was too negligent. Perhaps I should have given you your first class back then. Perhaps then you wouldn't have slipped away so far from your goal. Or did you forget yours? And Lance, at the mention of your goal, you can't help but make a face. Not because you don't remember, but because you've been trying so desperately to forget. You remember the time as a child you nearly lost everything. Home and hearth, family and friends. It felt like the world was only fire. You felt as if everything was burning, not just because it was, but because you might be the only one left. But it was at that time that Ringmaster showed up. Or at least that's what it called itself. The Ringmaster. The star of the show and the one behind the scenes. And it offered you a way out. All you had to do was put up just a little show, have a little fun, and nothing you cared about would ever slip away ever again. And the world would not have you. It would not have them, it would not have you, and it did not deserve you. It never did. And that taste of ash and brimstone and burning, it's on the tip of your tongue right when all taste blossoms and you were trying to avoid letting that happen. And the Ringmaster, its smile curls wider than any normal being ever could. Where did you delude yourself into believing the world was good? I thought I told you differently.
Goals change.
Not for you. Where did you go wrong, Seeker? Where did I lead you to believe that you were some great hero? And it reaches out with a hand that is almost human, almost, but uncannily wrong, and taps you on the chest right where your heart would be, and then points to itself. You, me, us. Perhaps you have forgotten, but hero is not written in our epitaph.
I never claimed to be a hero. I'm just doing what I believe is right.
Right. And how far did that get you?
My journey's only just begun. And just cracks like a crooked smile.
Do not forget where you started. You might forget that you can end. And the Ringmaster, its smile never fades as it seems to encircle all the darkness in the room and disappear into a shower of sparks, always putting up something of a show. And as soon as it leaves, that shiver down your spine that seemed constant, that you had almost deluded yourself into believing absent, it fades again, because you know it's still watching. What do you do?
Just gonna straighten out my clothes a bit. Alright, let's put on a good performance then. and then carry on with walking back out and roaming the halls.
As
Back.
you pass by the threshold of this dorm, you pause, one foot still in the dorm, but the rest of you out. And you can't help but chuckle at the thought. What a performance, right? Making everyone believe you're some great hero. A performance for the ages. You wonder why it doesn't believe the same way. And you keep walking. Where do you head? Out of curiosity.
Back to the workshop.
Okay. How are you feeling after that one?
We not dead yet.
I know Zahn has feelings.
Couple bullet wounds, but we can survive.
No, Zahn, I want to hear your opinion right now.
The long typing.
Oh yeah. I saw some specific lines in here, and Zahn's going to try and kill me.
There's not a moment you don't say spicy lines that would kill someone. It's like someone biting into an apple and finding out it's a bell pepper.
No, that's when Lex insults people. You know this.
Fair and valid.
Speaking of his insults while Zahn is typing, you want to know something funny about what I told Nini about that?
Those always go good together. Go ahead.
Nini said that his insults are just vicious mockery with no spellcast, and it's an upcast.
That's just you, though.
Oh, come on.
Aaron,
I'm not that
Elaine,
bad.
Lex.
Yeah? Yeah.
Aaron actually probably more than likely has vicious mockery. Or Lane has insulted people to the point I've actually allowed vicious mockery. Lex just being Lex. It's just you.
Good. So, Helia.
Lamb.
Hi, sweetie.
Are you done murdering Lance, Nia?
No, I'm not, because your scene's next, remember? Shotgun blast.
You weakened them with their stuff, and now you aim to take them out with mine. How cruel.
Are you prepared for some fucking lines, honey?
Zahn is prepared for more delicious meals.
Oh, Lance. Anyway, ignoring Discord.
Anyway.
Helia. How late do you stay up?
Probably pretty late, given everything recently.
What's the first thing on your mind as you know for a fact everyone else is asleep?
That she hopes they're having better dreams than she does.
As you contemplate the fact that you hope, at least, that they're having better dreams than you ever do at this point, something registers in you of you're in an academy. If any place would know anything about the afflicted, it would be here. After all, most afflicted end up here, either because the academy want to make sure that powers that be don't get them, or because their families are wealthy enough to have helped the transition. You recognize that perhaps Valkyr was just unlucky. And that doesn't sit well with you either. And you're suddenly restless. You're not anxious and you're not worried. You're restless. The sort of restless that begets dreamlessness. The sort of recklessness to everything that you're doing, that you're not quiet when you leave the dorms and you barely recognize that you're walking. You have a singular goal. You have the intent to, whether by force or by sneaking in, or simply by asking the people at the door, you're getting into this sect's library. What is the first thing that Helia contemplates looking up at the library?
I'm not quite sure because I feel like her thoughts are racing so much that it's hard to catch just one of them.
As your thoughts race, unable to pick one apart from the other, like a run on sentence dripped in poison, it's almost as if your worries churn into something stormy. And it's the first time you've felt something other than sadness. And you're not sure this is better because you're angry. Angry at a world that took your best friend from you, angry that the world is trying to separate the both of you, angry that you can't find anything to help. And you're angry. And that anger clouds everything else, as even when the guards of the library and the sect at the nighttime juncture do end up trying to step in the way, but the older of the two of them notices the look on your face before you ever register that it's there and stops the younger recruit, and they just let you pass. And the smell of books is the first thing that catches you. Not because you've been here countless times, but because this is the first time you've stepped in here since Valkyra was gone. And it is empty. It is, aside from who you can vaguely, in your rage tinted lenses, you can vaguely recognize as the main librarian, the head librarian of most of the sects, just sitting there enjoying some cup of something. Probably tea, maybe coffee, maybe something stronger. You're not sure and you don't really want to know at this point. It is just the rage of someone who wants answers and doesn't know where to start. Give me an insight check on yourself.
What a fun sentence. Insight yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Insight, insight, insight.
Well, as you step a couple of more steps into the room, empty and not cold, but lifeless. Like the books around you have been made from the deceased of the nature's bounty. You feel as if this place only is given life by the people who enter and walk around. And you're not sure why, but the feeling of something being missing aggravates you more, but it sharpens your focus. And the first thing that comes to mind is if I do anything tonight, I will find out how the afflicted are made. If only just something small to lead to an avalanche, something we'll have to do. Sorry, you ever just get an itch right on the like edge of your nose?
Yes.
Sorry, complete distraction. I died for a
Oh
second
yeah.
there.
The worst is when it happens when you're like elbow deep in like dirty dishwater and you're like, I can't scratch my nose. Don't do this to me.
Oof, that's the worst actually. But Helia, with that recollection, that sharpening of focus, it leads you off to Helia's lift.
This way?
Yeah. You've, as you go over to one of the earlier bookcases, you realize quite quickly that you're not guiding yourself by what you know, but rather ex- through extenuating circumstances, what you've seen and heard from others. And you don't normally go by hearsay, you find it quite silly that anybody does. But it leads you to the right place this time as your eyes skim over all the books, looking for the right book, the right title, the right color, something. Roll an investigation check with advantage.
Doo-doo-doo-doo.
With an 18, you find that the world sharpens again, like almost as if everything but what you're looking for is blurred out, irrelevant, unnecessary. And in your rage, something calms as soon as you see The Afflicted, Volume 1, on a lower. It's still a little bit above you. You'd have to step on your tippy toes for you to grab it. But
She's
it's
short,
within
of
your
course
reach.
she does.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you reach for it?
Yes.
You stand on your tippy toes, and for a second, it's just like struggling to get it, but you manage to wrap your fingers around the edge of the spine and just gently tug it out a little bit, bit by bit, so you can grab the book without letting it fall to the ground. And you do have it. It is a very colorful book, well decorated, well designed. It's almost as if it's a fairy tale book and not something historical.
It's a weird way for this book to be.
What do you do first? Do you read the first page and start from there, or do you look for a specific thing?
She would start from the beginning, yeah, not knowing exactly what is going on.
Though you definitely notice the table of contents with several different listings, headings, things that both catch your interest and lose lose you entirely. You start on the first page, and it begins with these, as if reciting from some ancient text. Born of a strong desire to complete some sort of goal, an afflicted is a normal person that bonds their heart and body with another being in a situation different from becoming a warlock. Whereas a warlock would find themselves subduing or controlling the being they've pacted with at some point, the afflicted are not in control of their new tenant, and most of the time they find themselves changed by their position as an afflicted. Sometimes this change is positive, and sometimes this change is negative. But without question, they will find themselves changed in some regard, whether psychologically or physically. In some rare cases, both. Do you continue reading?
Sure.
Depending on the type of affliction, an afflicted can find themselves going into overdrive on some matters, seeing things as more cut and dry than they truly are. Situationally, and usually only on rare occasions, an afflicted may start to view the world as black and white, as light and dark only, without any leeway. Most of the time, though, an afflicted will find themselves undeterred in their initial goals, and when the time comes for the afflicted to achieve that goal, they are unwavering in that ideal, unyielding in wishing to approach and conquer what they had set out to achieve. Their goals are beyond many in variation, however, and as such, cannot be drawn to much beyond their initial goals when they were afflicted. That is only like the first couple of pages.
I think at this point Helia frowns slightly because this all feels like to her psychology, and that's not what she's looking for, you know?
Mm-hmm. So do you use the table of contents or do you seek another book?
She'll try the table of contents first.
You see a good number of things speaking on how they're made, how they come into being, how things of that nature for the afflicted fall into separate categories, how there's stronger ones naturally and there's weaker ones. But what do you seek out first?
Helia, at this point, she's looking for how they're made, how an afflicted person, I mean, how a person becomes afflicted.
Rather early on in the book, granted this is the first volume, of course it would be early to middle, about 4 or 5 chapters in, you see a little note, kind of a subheading, and it says creation. It's about halfway through the book.
That does seem like a very good place to read.
You turn to the middle of the book, starting right at the beginning of that subheading, that page, that specific page, because it says creation. It should help you in how they were created, how they are continuing to be created. And as you at first skim You get a couple of notes because you don't want to waste time on this if it doesn't have what you need. You catch a couple of glimpses of hacks, deals, things of that nature early on. And this first subheading of a book that talks about the afflicted, it's very thorough. And it says there's pacts, there's deals, there's things that happen right at the edge of death. There's things that happen when people crave power. There's things that happen when people need something besides power that a strong enough Heartless or Gloom or Soulless or Mindless can give. Roll either intelligence or wisdom. Flat.
Just to check, correct?
Correct.
Well, that didn't mean to happen, but the first roll was an 8.
Yeah, but this is your scene and you're trying to find something. I'll be mean later. Yeah, you can keep the 25. Love you, sweetie.
I love you too.
It takes you a moment, even with a 25, to piece it together. But afflicted are made, they're created at the moment the wish for something is given into the universe and is answered. Not all of them are answered, not every wish gets granted, but much like a genie, every wish has a price. And as such, it occurs to you that whatever happened to Valkyr to change him so drastically, it must have been quite the wish. And the fact that he can't come home must have been an accident.
There's a frown from Helia as she doesn't like that thought.
Helia, as you continue to have your thoughts race and you skim across page after page, trying to find some explanation, some reason as to why someone would allow it to happen, as far as you were concerned, you and Valkyr had promised to stay normal in this chaos of a universe you found yourself in. You even said, whatever happens, happens, but we don't change. We're here for each other, and that's that. And Valkyr had agreed. He didn't really seem all that interested in being anybody but himself, even if that version of himself was much more, how should we say, constantly in a state of panic.
Boy has an anxiety disorder. Leave him alone.
No. Anyway.
Yes.
No.
Yes!
Anyway. Helia, you recognize that for Valkyr to have not only made a wish that would make him an afflicted, altering the course of your destinies entirely,
I
perhaps
would
even
remind
breaking.
you, Helia doesn't believe in that.
That doesn't mean she doesn't know about it.
She doesn't believe that fate and destiny are real concrete things, you know?
Correct. Most people don't. That doesn't mean they don't still study it. Usually people who don't believe in that sort of thing end up finding themselves trying to prove that it's not there. Regardless, Helia, it occurs to you that whatever wish that he made, whatever he wanted so badly, it drove him from you. Not in an emotional sense, but in a physical sense. He is far away from you and you can't do anything not like this. And for what it is, you hate the recognition. You don't like the realization. You hate it. You want to stay here until he gets back, but the realization makes you understand that you can't. Even with how stubborn Helia is, you recognize that some things are worth fighting for. Is there anything else she would look up in this instance?
Could you repeat that? I couldn't quite hear you.
Is there anything else that Helia would look up either in this book or in the library in general?
At the moment, I don't believe so. Because in this moment, she is so tired and frustrated about everything.
Does Helia want to take the book with her?
Not particularly in this moment. But
Okay.
it's probable she'd come back for it in the future.
Okay. So you put it back, presumably.
Yes, she's not a gremlin.
Unlike a certain royal over there. Anyway. Keeping stolen books. Anyway. Have to bully Cayde at least one time every session. Regardless. You put back the book and resolve even in your haste to not be there anymore. You resolve in the back of your head to come back and read it when you're not full of malice, and you recognize it as malice, but you don't know who it's aimed at. And even in that recollection, in sequence of knowing that it's full of malice, you have to double take at yourself, because you're not normally one to fight. Yes, speak your mind, but not fight. But it doesn't feel wrong. It's the malice that's wrong. And you realize that you're tired in that way that sleep doesn't fix. Answers might, if sleep follows. And you just can't help but walk out and wander again. You don't know how much you're wandering. But you know you need to walk. You need to not talk to people. You need to think. You need to process. What is the first thing on Helia's mind as she's walking?
That part of the reason she's so angry with everything is just how cruel the universe seems to be in this moment, and how uncaring it feels like some of the people around her are, even if she knows that it's not completely true. She's just so angry about it.
Helia, in your anger, as it bubbles and froths like some sort of for lack of a better term, some sort of broth. Something that keeps everything else in it warm. But this isn't warmth, this is burning. This is a fire that, while it's helping you now, will leave you cold in the end. And even you have to recognize that. But it doesn't stop the anger. If anything, it makes it worse for right now of, I can't put this anger anywhere. I'm just walking, and I can't stop myself from moving. If I stop moving, I'll just scream. And it's too late for that. I figure Helia has some modicum of decency.
Screaming is for when she won't wake up people who have nothing to do with this.
Correct. And as you're walking, stewing in your hellfire anger, you look up and realize that you're in a different sect. Well, technically. It's a place that most of the other sects end up finding themselves at when there's a show happening. When there's an outdoor performance happening on a good day and everyone is excited, but it's quiet out. You even see fireflies and lights that shouldn't be on, and you don't know why. Do you approach?
Sure.
I can hear that hesitation, so I'm going to include it. Helia, you hesitate to approach because you're not sure if it's another crew setting up for what you know is probably one of the celebratory events of... Honestly, you're not sure if it's Halloween or something else because Halloween Town, you know, is a thing.
She sure does.
So you're not sure if it's a performance or some sort of celebration, but you know it's for this month. And the month has just begun, so they're probably still preparing. And preparations, as you've realized, whether you want to or not, take quite a bit. Especially in a place so big. Roll 20, please. Do not fight me. And you walk past a couple of trees that block most of your sight into the open area beyond, and you find yourself in a relatively empty place. You've been here before with Valkyr, and that alone makes you angry for a moment. But then it's the scent of smoke? And it's not fire smoke, and you don't know how to describe it. It takes you a moment, but you eventually get it. In your anger, in your haze, it's the scent of a cigarette. Someone is smoking in the middle of the theater. You don't exactly see who yet from your position.
Where is my position? Where am I?
You're
There
at
I
the top.
am. I literally scrolled to every corner but the top right.
Mood.
Not being sneaky, but not being, loud. Wandering this way.
You more or less just approach without thinking, not being loud, not being sneaky, just wandering closer to something unusual in a way that previously, in times before, you would have ignored. And you find yourself pausing just for a second as you see first, not the head of hair that is definitely not natural, or if it is, you're not sure how. But it's the glittering coat that you see first. More white than it is black, with cuffs that are rolled up into black inner sleeves. And it almost looks like it was made with the origin of glitter in mind. And it occurs to you, in a way that kind of surprises you, of how, like, bland your own mind said it to you. Oh, King's smoking a cigarette out here.
The air of, fuck it, this might as well happen.
You approach from the side, not getting closer, but getting further into his view. Make a perception check.
Perception.
Even in your haze, maybe because you realize that King is just smoking. You know, a thing a normal person with that habit would do when they're stressed. Or really, any time they have the habit. God forbid if they're stressed. And you realize it is, in a way that you hate admitting, it kind of brings some sort of humanity to a man who otherwise seems anything but. So lofty in ambition and goal that you have no idea about, and has some connection to the woman who has stolen your best friend from you from your perspective.
Helia doesn't know about that yet.
Didn't
No.
wasn't she told by Valkyr that he wasn't allowed to come back because she would?
Oh, vaguely, she, yes. Vaguely, there is a woman.
A woman.
Helia
Anyway.
does not know the identity of the woman. There is a woman.
I was damn certain. But okay.
She
Anyway.
she knows in the city, just not in game.
No. I was damn certain from this perspective.
No.
See what... Looks directly at Cherry. See what I mean about my brain being soup earlier?
We love you.
Looks directly at Cherry. You get it.
We're all full of soup.
Anyway. Taking a step back, Helia, you step into his periphery, and with your perception check, you realize this man has, for all intents and purposes, is just another dude trying to have a moment to himself. But he doesn't shoo you away. If anything, his hands kind of settle a little more after visibly noticing you. You even see the flash of the edge of his iris. Bright red. Almost unnaturally so, not even sickly saccharine, it's neon. As if you would see it in the dark and think you were being hunted by a demon. And he looks forward again, and you don't see that flash of neon red. And he doesn't speak immediately. But after a moment of allowing himself another drag of his cigarette, which for some reason doesn't herald the same scent as every other cigarette that burns the inside of your nose and mouth, it tastes like the smoke. It's You don't know how to explain it other than it tastes like a memory you've forgotten. And it stuns you for a moment. Long enough for the anger to settle, not completely, but the confusion takes front first. And then he speaks. It's rather late out. I don't believe you have any particular reason as to why you're here. Can't gather you of all people would be seeking me out.
Going for a walk. Wanted to see what the lights were about.
Thankfully, I was allowed to turn on the lights. They were... Honestly, they were right in believing that I might have something to do with the darkness. King of the Glooms and all that.
Helia's just gonna settle on the edge of these stairs here, you know, knees tucked up, chin in her hand, and just sort of generically staring King's direction.
Not at, just in the direction.
He's in her line of vision, but she's not really looking at him at this moment.
The silence between you hangs for a moment, not like a noose around your throat, but like the comfortable silence of seeing an old friend for the first time again. And he visibly shifts in his posture before, after another minute of silence, looking over at you. May I ask why you were taking a walk?
Couldn't sleep, and I was... you know... avoiding... I don't know, everything.
I'm not the best to give hypocritical statements on that one, but avoiding things typically leads to worse outcomes.
Well... I mean... I don't think the librarian would appreciate it too much if I threw a book in her library, so... this seemed like the better option.
Why were you getting angry at your books, if I may ask?
Because the universe is cruel, and nobody else but me seems to care. Except for the others, they care.
Well, that's the thing now, isn't it? The universe isn't cruel, it just doesn't care. Something that can't care can't be cruel. And I know that doesn't help. I know that's only making you angry at me, and quite frankly, I deserve it. But it's the universe. It doesn't care. It will continue on regardless. It's you that changes what happens. And if you do nothing, nothing changes.
It is, of course, presuming I can do anything. Stuck here, aren't I?
You're stuck only insofar as you believe you can do nothing. So I believe, yes, you are stuck. After all, well, you can ask your friends how stuck they feel. Especially the ones who visited me the other day.
Gonna guess that it was Razz and Lance.
No, actually, it was your other friends. The boy who offered me mercy for no reason, and the one who's ready to quite literally fight a god.
Buffering. Sue and Arthur? Question mark?
That would be the ones, yes.
Is Arthur the one that wants to fight God?
Would you believe me if I said no?
Telling me Sue's a marshmallow covered in sprinkles.
Make a perception check.
22.
The look he's giving Helia right now is the equivalent of you haven't spoken to them in like weeks, have you? Just the most unimpressed. I just spoke to them look.
Helio returns that with a shrug of, I don't know.
You don't know anything about your allies, do you?
I know some things. Not like I've known them very long.
Then use this time to get to know them. After all, they are your friends, right?
Yes?
It's hard to find a true friend these days. I've all but lost mine.
Guess we're in the same boat there.
What do you mean?
My best friend's missing. It's been 2 months since he went missing.
If I may ask, what did he look like?
Before he went missing, whole. He was made of bamboo and anxiety. Brown hair. Soft, kind eyes.
I don't think King needs an insight check for that. I don't think so.
I know what I said.
I'm sure you do.
Helia doesn't.
There's a chuckle. You sound a lot like me.
I actually don't know how to take that.
Take it any way you'd like. You sound like I did when I was young. Before I got my keyblades.
Just pictured you as a toddler and it doesn't work, so that's weird to hear you say.
Did you think I just spawned from the ether looking ragged and exhausted?
Kinda.
No, I had a family. And I had friends.
What happened to him?
Roll a persuasion check with advantage. Situational.
Situational advantage.
Impressive. Impressive. I think this is where I'm going to be slightly mean to you.
Aww.
You do see him go to say something. Shut his mouth quickly. Almost with a clack of teeth that even hurts you to hear. Because he's sitting a distance away. For you to hear it, it must have been quite the shut. And he just shakes his head. It wouldn't matter anyway.
Why
After
not?
all, I'm an old man. They're all dead.
You're not dead.
Because I was cursed not to be.
So?
Not all things need to be dying or on the death's doorstep to have died. It's a bit of an odd situation, but technically I have died and I have not. But, and he makes this kind of swirl gesture in the air. It doesn't matter in the long run.
Why not?
You ask a lot of questions for someone who is seething in rage.
I'm very good at asking questions.
You ask a lot of questions. I don't think you understand the questions you ask, is why I'm concerned about you and your mates.
What do you mean?
Affectionately, you're probably sure the drag of the cigarette he just took burned through about a quarter of it. Then he holds it for a while, that you're pretty sure gives away the fact that he's no longer human if he ever was before. And he just... Well, here's the thing. I mean that all of you are asking some very, very intense questions for being children.
Well, in our defense, in the last 3 months, we've been through a lot of fucking shit.
Being traumatized doesn't give you the right to question God.
Sure does give us the privilege.
Yeah, okay. I set it up. And I deserve that.
I'll take that win. Thank you very much.
He sighs, just the... You haven't heard a person sigh so much and you swear you're getting on his nerves, but in all, he just looks tired. He's just tired. If that occurs to you while you're sitting there trying not to burst into tears. He's just a guy who probably got wrapped up into this way earlier than you, because he had a family and he said he had friends. Though whether or not they're alive, you don't know.
Well, she knows one is. Questionably.
Question mark.
Points at Zemnis. Not sure what's going on there.
I'll get Kuri for that later. Roll an insight check. He's not exactly hiding it. The mention of his friends, the mention of his family. He speaks as if they're from an age no one remembers, aside from him. And he looks over at you and says, "Do you want to have a seat with me, or are you going to mope over there? We can mope together if you'd like."
Something in misery loves company.
Misery loves a lot of things. Company is not one of them.
Are you sure about that?
Pretty much. I've perfected the art of misery at this point.
Man, that must suck.
Yes, it's called depression. Unfortunately, no one wants to be a therapist to a villain.
Well, that's rude of them.
It's not rude if you're deemed the one who tried to glass a world.
I still think it's rude.
Why is it rude to avoid someone who's obviously a threat?
I don't know.
You say a lot of things, I don't think you understand what they mean.
Thanks. It's the depression.
You visibly see him go, "Motherfucker, I asked for that." Intake of breath and looking up like, "Okay, I guess." You know what? Just as bad as the other two. I'm not getting involved, I'm not. I will take care of my own business when this veil of secrecy lifts.
Helia turning to look at him slightly like, are you sure about that? Are you
Yes!
sure?
Literally just not even a word required. He can feel it, because he's gotten that look before of, "Can you handle this?" Yes!
I'm quite sure you believe that.
I don't believe goddamn anything anymore. I believe that I fucked up. Yes. Pardon, you're like 12.
No, I'm 19. I'm 19.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I am.
Denied. Moving on.
The fuck you mean denied?
No.
Yes.
I'm not getting into the debate of how young someone is. I'm not age blind.
Just because I'm short doesn't mean I'm 12.
It's nothing to do with your height. It just means if you're 19, I'm a... We're not getting into it. We're not getting into my age because no one believes me.
Older than dirt.
Just the immediate, like, hangs his head of just like, every time I talk to someone. He does turn his face away and takes another drag and doesn't say anything. What's your passive perception?
Not great, I think. 15.
More than enough. As he looks away, he shifts enough to where there's a faint clanging, just ever so, like, it's not even clanging, it's not metal, it's not iron, it's not anything like that. It sounds more like the jingle of a wind chime. And you look around at first because there's no wind chimes, there's not even a dream catcher near the theater, and you know that. And then you look down beside you, in between the both of you, and there's a pair of twin daggers with not a black and white, but a gold and red color scheme. And the keychains that dangle from both of them don't even look like they match what the design is. They look like they're gifts that you'd see in a fucking toy store. They look old and refurbished, repolished, redone, remade, time and time again, rebuilt even. But they don't look like they match these ones, and somehow you still know that these are the keychains attached to these keyblades. And they look like, for lack of a better term, like a sun and moon.
Hey, don't hurt her like this.
Yeah?
Fuck you.
Fuck you!
Because I think for a second, Helia's hand goes to whatever pocket or pouch that she keeps her keychain in, because all she can think about is the fact that hers is so obviously a sun and sun theme, and Valkyr had said his matched hers.
Do you do anything when you see them and you notice that it almost reflects your own?
I feel like, aside from the obvious shift in movement and how she's sitting there's one of those little I am desperately trying not to cry sniffles.
After a pause of hearing the little sniffle, and just, no one's going to hear you if you cry. That sounds ominous. I apologize. That's my default setting.
No, I just feel like if I start, I'm never going to stop.
Well, if you don't start, it never can stop. No matter how far you push back the waters, the tide will still rise. So let it.
What if there's nothing left afterwards?
Nothing is a large word for emptiness. And nothing is ever truly empty. Sure, you'll feel like it. You'll feel awful. You were crying. You need water, food, and a rest. And you won't feel the same afterwards, because it means you have realized that it's wrong, and it sucks, and you hate it, and it's bad. But that doesn't mean it can't change. That's the benefit of being young and dumb. Things change because you're too stubborn to admit that they can't. And maybe that's the price I pay for being old as dirt.
I don't think that's true. I don't think that age has anything to do with why you don't believe things can change anymore.
And if it isn't, who's to say that anything will? Maybe change doesn't start with me. God knows I've tried.
Change has to start somewhere. You'll never find out if you don't keep.
Could you repeat that real quick?
Helia said, change has to start somewhere, but you'll never find out where if you don't keep trying.
A lot of talk from someone who basically heard the same words from me just now.
Yeah, we're fucking echo chambers right now. Sometimes you just need to someone else say it to believe it.
Change starts with you, huh? Is that it?
Maybe. I've got to try, otherwise maybe nobody else will try to bring Valkyr home and make sure he's safe.
Well, then what it sounds like to me, dear girl. Girl, right? Are you?
Sure.
No, so you're a girl in the same way I'm a guy. Alright.
Hey.
What? Am I wrong?
No.
It is what it is. We'll get back to it eventually, or we won't. Doesn't matter. You do you. Regardless. I suppose the phrase we're looking for here is change starts where you draw the line. So where does your line get drawn?
I don't know yet, but I think I'll figure it out. I have to, you know?
Eventually you will. It took me a couple 100 years, but I figured it out. That being said, and he stands up, snapping the fingers on his free hand, and the keyblades disappear. And without a perception check needed, you see the two sun and moon keychains that look so out of place on something so fancy. They're hanging just off the side of his left hip, beneath his ostentatious attire. It's as if they're the one thing that's keeping him from making terrible decisions. Or maybe that's in your head. After all, he is king of the Glooms, right? And how could someone so humane who would sit here with you after you had just gotten a Keyblade when he had every moment to strike you down and just leave you somewhere? Just sit there and help you through a problem. He doesn't sound like a bad guy. You still don't know how to feel yet, but he doesn't feel as bad as what the rumors used to say. And he stands up, does the snap, and kind of gently tosses the lingering butt of a cigarette onto the ground, stamping it out. And goes, "Don't smoke, it's bad for your health."
Helia gives him the look of, are you serious?
What?
Says the man who's clearly been sitting here smoking for what, at least an hour?
I think I would have a recollection of how bad it is for your health.
You need, like, chewing gum or something. Good lord.
I need chewing gum that doesn't taste awful.
Yeah, they make. Are you okay?
No!
Are your taste buds okay?
No! I just told you a little while ago I died. No!
dying affects your taste buds?
Do you think you'd come back the same if you died?
I don't know. I don't even know how Valkyr came back. Then
I would
again, I don't
suspect
think he
healing.
died, but...
I would suspect healing. That's usually how that works.
Well, maybe, but I don't know. He's... aggravated hand motions.
I'm gonna roll something. Don't fucking freak out. Oh, so he's an afflicted.
Well, he is now.
Well, yes, not the... Do you think afflicted start that way?
I don't know, that's why I was reading about it in the library, and that's why I got angry and had to leave and not throw a book.
Well, what was the thing that you were trying to ascertain? I'm out of my cigarettes. Where did they go? Literally just in the middle of talking, he was looking on his person and just like, where did they go?
How they're made. Because... or how they're created. Because I don't know what happened, and I thought... maybe if I knew, I could do something to help bring him home, or find out who's keeping him away from me.
Keeping him away from you? He says this as he's like patting himself down. I'm just like, I swear I just had them. Like, where did they go? That kind of pat?
Helia watching this man suffer.
Truly. He's just a pathetic little man sometimes.
Kicked wet puppy of man.
Stop!
You started
Leave
it.
him alone.
No. No! You started it. I don't know who they are, or what they want, or anything. All I know is that... well, I know two things, maybe. That Valkyr said she'll kill him if he does or doesn't do something. I don't... it was... a lot was happening. And that when I asked the wizard do a scrying spell, it didn't work right.
She?
She!
Oh, that's no good.
What, generic woman, or...
No, it's because I probably know who she is.
okay.
And I don't want to mislead you, understand? So, I don't know. Was there any specifics that you got? Aside from wanting to kill a child.
He was... I don't know. In the scrying spell, he was talking to someone else who wanted to fight him, but he said no, he didn't want to fight. And when I saw him on Port Royale, he was trying to hide from us, and I don't remember.
Your friend's an informant, and I do know who has him.
Okay?
I don't know if you're in the state to hear it, but if I don't say it, you're gonna hate me just as much. So, my rival currently has him.
Why the fuck would the White Queen want Valkyr? He's not anyone important, he's just Valkyr.
That's kind of her point. She doesn't attract attention by enlisting those who are necessarily out in the limelight. It's people who you'd never see. For lack of a better term, she enlists nobodies.
Not a nobody. My best friend.
That's not what I meant. You know what I meant.
Everybody's important to someone. There's no such thing as a nobody.
Revisiting how the universe doesn't care?
The universe can shove a stick up its ass.
True. You sound like a friend of mine. Oh, he'd love you.
Is it the one that gave Lance the book?
Who? Oh, right, fuck. I really don't know what's happening there. He shouldn't have had it. I don't know how Lance got it.
He got it from the man. Zemnis.
Oh. He's alive?
I guess! He seemed glitchy and unstuck.
Schrodinger's Zemnus. We'll figure that out at a later date. You need to do something. Why don't you just scream? Why don't you just... Why?
I don't know.
You're too polite. Scream. Go crazy. Do I need to cast a circle of silence so people can't hear, so you can scream?
No, but laying in the grass and screaming into my hands count.
I guess. Will it make you feel better?
Probably not.
Then... Have you ever seen a man just lose patience and lose all the years of his life and still not die?
King's having a fucking moment here.
I'm going to walk on the other side of this area. If you want to throw anything, just do it. You physically cannot hurt me.
Well, that'd be me.
I feel like I lost years of my life.
So sorry, my love.
No, you're not. Don't lie to me. King has a moment of staring off into space for a moment and goes, okay. If you're not going to acknowledge that you have feelings about things, then by all means do that. I at least have something of a healthy emotional state. It's not good. It's better than whatever this is.
I have so many feelings. That is most of the problem.
Do you? And reaches over and just flicks your forehead and just, well, feel them. Let yourself have feelings.
The utter bafflement of this man just flicking her in the head like, what? What just happened? What?
Let yourself have feelings. Not acknowledge that you can. Feel them, or so help me, I will actively get you angry enough to hit me. This is a threat.
It's a weird threat.
You're a weird girl.
Yes!
Is it working?
I don't know.
Oh my god. I'm just going to walk away. I feel like the way Itsuki felt trying to talk to me when I was younger. Whatever, I'm leaving. And just starts walking away. Do you do anything?
I don't know, because Helia is half bewildered and half like, if I throw something, will he turn around? But I don't want to throw anything at him, but what?
He just keeps walking. Do you throw anything?
Does Helia have anything to throw?
I was just playing BG3. I was half tempted to say, give that bitch an alchemist fire.
No, that's mean, and also not her subclass. Do you know what Helia has?
What's up?
That I know for certain.
Mm-hmm.
She's got her goggles. Her steampunk, mostly for in the shop goggles. She can throw those at him. That's not a weapon. And it probably won't hurt.
Roll strength or dex.
Those are both bad.
You barely managed to get the goggles, the things that help you in the workshop past 15 feet. But it does still get him to stop. He doesn't turn around, but he does stop.
Really just mild face and hands moment of, I didn't think that through. Should have considered that my arms are made of noodles.
Make a perception check. Story rolls. Anyway. Helia, as you look up from between the, cracks in your fingers, the spaces where you interjoin hands with people, you realize that his head's tilted to the side slightly, as if he's listening to something.
Mimicking the head tilt and slowly pulling her hands down and just mimicking the head tilt, like, what's he doing?
He half turns to face you, and he has the most bewildered and almost... It's almost as if he's judging you. But not quite. It's as if he's judging the make of something he hasn't seen yet and has only just heard hit the ground. You throw that like that again, it's going to break on impact. What did you fucking make it? What is it made out of?
I mean, to be fair, they're old. I made them quite a long time ago, but
And you haven't done an upgrade.
I needed one.
At least have proper alloy for that sort of thing. And he walks up to where they landed, picks it up, examines it for a moment, and goes, They're good for a beginner. But they're horrifying if this is an old thing and you haven't upgraded.
It worked just fine.
Just because they work doesn't mean they aren't going to break. What if they break while you're wearing them?
I didn't think about that.
Why didn't you think about it? Aren't you a creator like myself?
Yeah?
That's Helia's first time hearing that.
Hence the bewildered tone to the yeah?
Then why haven't you fixed it? At least made it better where it started, you know?
Bewildered shrug. Oh no, I had other things on my mind than fixing something that wasn't broken yet.
It's not about things breaking then. It's about things breaking now. It could and it might. And it's about to. For the love of not even Kingdom Hearts, for the love of yourself. Fix it. Roll insight with advantage.
Insight, you said?
Yes, with advantage. Nice. This motherfucker is so on top of workshop safety that this aggravates him to a point that he has forgotten he was leaving. Shut your mouth, Cayde.
This is King's crime scene etiquette.
Yes. Yes. What about it?
I just find that objectively hilarious.
Have workshop safety or you might die, and then it's not his fault because he warned you. You can't be at fault for something when you try to prevent it.
Yeah, Helia for a brief moment. Is this what having a dad is like? Before shaking away that thought, like, nope, let's not go down that train of thought tonight.
Stop adopting him.
Helia doesn't want to adopt him. Hands out. Grab your hands. Give her glasses back, please.
He just hands them back, and it's the first time you actively realize that the ends of his fingers are curled slightly at the ends into very slight claws.
Head tilt curiously.
What?
Your hands. They're pointy.
The term you're looking for is I have claws. Not retractable, but I have claws.
They're pointy.
That you don't. People don't have pointy hands. They have claws.
I would like to emphasize she's giving him a mild knife cat look.
He's so tired. He's tired.
He's so tired. Helia just putting the goggles on her head, just like, yep, this is where they go.
Helia. As you're standing so close to King, that scent of what you can only describe as a memory you've forgotten solidifies into a flicker of a memory of a woman's smile you've never met and the laughter of a man you swear you've never seen. And then it's gone as he's walking away.
Helia verbally out loud. What the fuck was that?
King does a little bit of a wave without turning around and goes, "Try not to linger too much. I don't know how to turn off these lights. They are beyond me. Do not enjoy that, but I'll get over it. Ciao." And keeps walking. And just starts up the staircase. Do you do anything?
Do you have any options? Oh, stop that, computer.
What was that?
Me getting into a brief argument with my computer. Do I have any options?
What would Helia do after learning all of that in the single set, like, couple of maybe 2 hours? Would she go back and try and sleep?
Probably not.
So what would you do? This is gonna be the last thing for your scene.
Probably find somewhere quiet to sit and get her thoughts in order.
It's an empty theater.
Yeah, but she doesn't want to be here when the lights turn off.
If you can come up with a reason that she'd give to the teleport line guards, there's the cafe.
Helia does not have any valid reason. She'd probably just find somewhere quiet on campus.
Okay. Helia, you're good with finding places to hide after knowing Valkyr for so long and knowing that he needs quiet when he's having a panic attack. So you found a good number of places, even ones that you haven't shared with Valkyr before. And you just sit and you think. And that's what we'll draw that scene, at least. How's everybody feeling?
I love it, but I'm still afraid.
Your
Why are you
bone.
afraid?
I already sent you a DM, and that's how I'm feeling.
You went for everybody's fucking throats today. I love it.
Oh no, that.
Oh, I know. This is why if everybody's feeling up for it, because I actually have energy today, we can go a little longer.
I'm
Because fun
okay with
fact,
it. Yes.
yeah, fun fact. About
Yes.
3/4 of that of the last 2 hours was actually Helia's scene.
Yes.
Look, it's about time Helia gets some focus on her.
That is very true. Helia hasn't had like
Solo scene.
time in a long time. So
Yeah, I know, but I struggle to watch 30-minute episodes, and an hour and a half is just like I could
A movie.
Yeah.
I could feel my focus flying out the window despite my best efforts.
The Helia movie. AKA. I'm not saying that. Actually, I want to stay alive.
No, say it.
No,
No,
I've
no.
already been threatened enough.
He likes
the
his
Terabithia
kneecaps.
comet. The Terabithia comet got me fucking seen. No, thank you.
Because, bitch, fucking please.
So we're going to go, unless someone has a very specific scene they want to do, I'm going to go back to everyone at the dorms, not with Helia, and of course.
I want to do something.
Hmm.
I sent it to you before. Where is it? Gosh, it's in DMs. Possibly. Fuck. The last thing in our DMs was mainly talking about Jack.
Have fun.
What was the main theme of it? Just jog my memory.
I wanted Caesar to visit the stables at Julius's farm before his aunt eventually came and basically grabbed him.
We'll get to that. Tsubasa.
No.
Yes.
You said you had two things you wanted to do when we were talking earlier.
Yeah, and we already know what's... I mean, technically he's doing two things, it's just one of them's in the background right now, yeah?
Yes.
Yes. But I do have a thing.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to go talk to he wants to try to talk to Grandmaster Gwen. Especially after talking with King before, he's just like, well, I've been having these funky visions. I've been having these funky visions, and the counselor says that she's the person to talk to for this.
Roll an investigation check with advantage.
Alright, hold on.
You'd think Gwen would be spending most of her time with her boyfriend. Wrong, actually.
You said investigation with advantage?
Yes.
16.
That's
Did I?
intimidation.
Oh. I thought... Fuck. Hold on. Let me try this again. Ah! Oh.
That's still insight, my dude.
Don't, that's fine. It's made me laugh enough to where I'm just gonna let it happen.
Yeah.
No, this is Tsubasa looking for Gwen in real time.
So, Tsubasa,
Yes.
as you're trying to find Grandmaster Gwen, you realize that it's a little uncommon to have a first-year seeker out, just from context of how everyone seems baffled when you're searching for the Grandmaster.
The nerves, they are real.
And it takes you a little while to even gather where she might be, and it leads into the next day. Specifically only because you were searching from right before dusk up until the point where the guards are just like, kind of look at you.
It's just like, why are you out?
Yeah. It's not like a warning of they'll force you back into your dorm rooms, it's just, what the fuck are you doing kind of look, and it made even Tsubasa go, okay, we try again tomorrow.
Just like, this is a tomorrow thing.
And you realize the next day that you don't have to try very hard, just wander a little bit. And you find yourself wandering between sects. Like, there's different sects of the academy, like I've been implying.
Yeah.
And sometimes you'll just find stretches of normal houses, people who live on the academy for either safety or because it's close to family. Your family might have been one of them if they didn't already basically have an entire world to themselves anyway. So as you wander through the streets, walking by people, past them, some of them give you a wide berth, others barely pay you any mind. Kind of a mix and match of not hesitation, but more along the lines of if someone could have an equal neutral response after so many positive and negative ones, this would be it.
Okay.
And you spot Grandmaster Gwen like up ahead and like kind of standing underneath a stall awning. She looks like she's on her gummy phone, and I'll actually bring up the map.
Grandmaster on her gummy phone. Tsubasa just quietly and patiently waits.
Make a perception check real quick. Or insight.
I am rolling perception. I have rolled it correctly and it's a 19.
With a 19, you realize that she's not on her gummy phone. She's looking at something on her gummy phone. And even from this distance, you can see the melancholy look.
He's still walking towards her, but he sort of slows down a little bit when he notices the look on her face. Just, no, I spent all night and today I just stealing your stuff.
So, what do you say to get her attention?
He pauses for a moment before he actually does. It's just like, audibly fumbling for a moment before he finally just settles on, Grandmaster Gawain? He's never interacted with her before.
She hears literally just Grandmaster, and immediately you see her posture shift from just another woman probably receiving a bad phone call to a formal, regal Grandmaster, and her normal smile that you always see her with is back in place. And she tucks her phone away and, like, approaches you with the same amount of energy that she always has around Aaron, around Professor Saitos. And as she approaches, she says, "Oh, hello. I didn't expect anybody to single me out, so you must be here for a reason."
Yeah, I had talked to the counselor, last week, a couple weeks. Out of character, how long had it been?
I believe at this point, from how I'm keeping track, it's been a couple of weeks.
Okay, yeah. The counselor, I talked to the counselor a couple of weeks ago, and, I told him about, well, a vision I had seen when I was off-world.
A vision? And she looks suddenly concerned, visibly, in a way that doesn't require an insight check.
Yeah, Tsubasa does. He glances up at her for a moment before not being able to meet her eyes for more than a second. He's just. Yeah, there was a point where we had met Marina on the grid. And before that, we had run into something that did attack us, but we managed to get away from it. And after we had been with Miss Marina, she had gone to go outside, and for a moment I saw that thing grab her. But then it hadn't, and I was able to pull her back, but was it Professor or Dr. Vortex?
Which one are you talking about?
The counselor!
Either or.
Okay. Professor Vortex said that it would probably be a good idea to talk to you about it.
So he believes you're an oracle.
That's what he was thinking, yeah, but he was also thinking that can't be right, I think. Because there's only supposed to be so many.
That's true. Well, I can always ask a friend of mine.
Could you? Please?
Would you like to come with me?
He doesn't say anything, but he does nod his head.
She looks around for a moment in that way of, has anybody been listening? And just after a moment of listening herself, seems to relax and goes, let's not be in the public eye while we talk about this. This is technically not something people should know. And just starts walking. And turns around a bend, and you don't see her.
Like, when he goes around the bend?
She seems to be walking pretty fast.
Yeah, he's scampering. He probably fucking dark dodges at one point to catch up, just nope.
She stops when she's out of view from most people and looks back around the bend, notices no one's following, and just reaches out and does a brief hand motion, and even you recognize what this spell is. It's a fairy fire. Anything considered hostile or could be hostile will light up with fairy fire and cast it in behind the both of you in a general direction. And when nothing lights up, okay. So I'm going to be honest with you. Now that I know you had a vision, that explains why I've had none.
Wait, what? But... Tsubasa just visible dial-up noise.
She looks more concerned for you than she is for herself. And she has that worried crease to not her forehead, but the corners of her mouth, where it's also like, it's almost as if she's a mother doting on a child, except you're not hers, and you don't know if she has any. And she looks you over for a second, kind of gently holding your face in that way of trying to make sure that the visions haven't, or what visions you've had, hasn't left any lingering problems. Do you resist?
He does not.
She looks over you, and when she finds that it seems to have done nothing, she relaxes again. Yeah, I haven't had a vision in ages now. And it was concerning me, considering the only one I knew of that is an oracle is the I don't know if she'd want me to say, but I do know of the other one.
Alright, what does this mean then?
Well, it means a lot. It can either mean you're destined for greatness, or worse.
Worse?
As far as I was told, being an oracle, it means that you see things before they happen and not all of them are preventable. You got lucky with this Marina?
Yeah, Marina Lancelot, actually.
You see her immediately make a face.
She's actually really nice. She's not any. She actually really does not like, the former Feist headmaster.
Roll an insight check.
I don't like how your voice was for that. Well, fuck you, 18.
That wasn't the reaction of someone who was making a face about how bad someone was. That was the mixed reaction face of, I know multiple people with that name. Just, yeah, cool, we're moving on kind of look.
Just, you know what? That's not important right now. Yeah, Tsubasa does not continue. He just trails off and it's just, yeah, I mean, that's really the only vision I've had, though. I mean, I did have a dream, but it happened the next morning.
Not every oracle vision is death-defying. Sometimes it is just of the future. Sometimes you can prevent it, and other times you don't want to. And sometimes you don't have a choice but to watch it happen twice. And I'm sorry you have to live with that. If I could take it back, I would. But that's not how that works.
Is this even something I can talk about with my friends?
If you trust them. But they would have to be sworn to secrecy to not bring it up. Telling someone outside of a trusted circle that you're an oracle can lead to you getting hurt. Or kidnapped. Or worse.
Tsubasa immediately thinking about all the times his dad worried about him getting kidnapped is just like, I don't want that to become true.
Me just throwing in the little line about being kidnapped and just like, eh!
Is that?
Love you, sweetie.
Terrible.
Hey, on the plus side, now Gwen doesn't have to deal with that.
No, she can be a mentor if that's all you want. But no, Gwen has a moment of contemplation. And then goes, You're friends with the heir to the Pendraco throne, right?
Arthur? Yeah. I mean, I'd like to think so.
You see her make an actual face of the god that sucked his egg. In that same expression of someone who hates formality.
Yeah. Tsubasa, understanding this expression, probably has seen it on Dominique plenty of times.
Yes. And Gwen goes, good. I think you might have to speak to his father. Because I can't do anything. I'm just the Grandmaster. He's the king.
As as Gwen is speaking, Tsubasa's eyes just keep getting wider and wider, and eventually you hear, in the tiniest squeak, "I have to speak to His Majesty?"
An audible pause, and then going, "Are you afraid of His Majesty?"
Well, no, I wouldn't say that's just. I mean, he's the king. And then he pauses
Yeah, and
for a
I'm
moment.
And I'm the Grandmaster.
As she's saying that, he does get the look of realization of, I'm talking to the Grandmaster too. And his hands just slowly lift up and cover his face and just, I'm okay. This is okay. I'm good.
You don't have to talk to him now. But before whatever adventure you set out on, because I know you're going to get into one, it's the default for an oracle.
Then, I mean, with my friends, I think I'd get dragged anyways.
I don't want to say I've heard about it, because that's usually not reliable, but let's just say it's... people talk, and whenever my lovely boyfriend hears chit-chat from the students, he never shuts up. I love him dearly. He never shuts up.
Yeah, they're pretty good to be around. But
Good. You'll need those type of people.
I appreciate you talking with me about this. Fumbling for a moment, it's just like, do I call her Grandmaster again? It's just like, Grandmaster.
Just call me Gwen.
Okay, Gwen. He does not like the formalities either. It's just awkward.
I will say, if you do need preparations beforehand to let him know you're coming, I can technically just give him a call. If I can stop getting called by my other boyfriend! Sweetie! And just taking out her phone as you realize that she has had it on vibrate this entire time to not annoy you with a ringtone.
His ears just twitch as now he's staring at the phone, just like, other boyfriend?
He figured out recently how to actually call me instead of sending a letter, and he won't stop. And I love him, and I'm so happy for him. I am in the middle of work all the time.
It's just Tsubasa giggling, by the way, just...
Make an insight check.
Sorry, I'm doing a lot of those tonight. Got a 15 this time.
Something about the way she mentioned the other boyfriend is almost solemn. You can't quite pinpoint what it is.
Either way, if it isn't too much trouble, I would appreciate your help with speaking with the king.
Of course. Listen, I don't want another oracle to go through anything that I did without help. So, check back in with me in about a week. I should probably have something set up, but us two are just constantly at each other's ends.
That doesn't sound good.
I'll say this, and you'll understand. He's a stickler for formality.
Oh, okay.
You understand where I'm coming from?
Mm-hmm. I do.
He's a good man, though. And good with kids. I'll give him that much.
That's good to hear.
But, yeah, I'll go set something up. And she starts to walk away
Trying to think
while
of-
looking at her phone.
Can I perception on the phone? Just curiosity, trying to get a glance at the screen as she walks past.
Roll perception.
That was the wrong thing. Okay, here we go. Percepi. 24.
Even with a 24, because of the way she's moving, you can only catch the briefest of glimpses at the screen. And you swear it's not a recording translated into a message, but instead it is a captioned video. And for what it is worth, it doesn't make Tsubasa embarrassed to see it. It is just the look of probably someone who is all too eager to, like, talk to someone they haven't had contact with before. And then it occurs to you that she said that they're finally able to call instead of sending letters. And she keeps walking.
Tsubasa just following away that thought. He would probably end up going back to the dorms at this point, though, because he's been out all morning, and he was already tired.
Yep.
So off he skitters. Time for bonding.
Ooh. Hey, guys, how we feeling now? After Sillies.
Sillies and Gwen looking at this child and going, "Oh, you poor baby. I am so sorry."
I think Gwen said it themselves. They are so dumb.
They are,
Yeah.
they are so dumb.
Aaron's a gossip monger and Adam's over here like, I figured out how this works and now you're never gonna hear the end of me. And she's just like, boys, I have work.
I found out how to do this. Okay, cool. This is the 5th time in a row you've told me. I know, but I'm just I did something right.
Adam voice, are you proud of me? Gwen, without a doubt. Can you please give me 5 minutes to do some real work?
I can almost see her, like, when she had pulled out the phone mid-conversation, just like, "Honey, please, I actually do have something that's taking precedence right now."
As I will say this as Adam's fucking news holder. Absolutely, he was waiting. If it was a video call, he would just be waiting patiently. Just with the
No.
biggest dumb smile.
I know.
I hope you do realize, Tala, in the city now, this is going to make Tsubasa just sort of start doing the stare of, "Am I allowed to talk to this one?"
Incredible.
Just, is this friend?
Well, in the city, he'll now know that Gwen at least was an oracle, there have been very few major differences.
I don't need to talk about Gray. He's not here right now.
Don't worry about it. I'm very, very fucking happy you guys remembered the fucking rule of oracles.
I'll be completely honest, this is a surprise to me. The visions thing was just supposed to be like a play on his arc and stuff, and then it's just like, nah, okay, you're an oracle. What?
Yep.
You don't get to joke with me, motherfucker, no Apollo.
Fuck! He's just a baby now!
love it here. It's great. I love bullying you
Amazing.
guys.
It's fun.
I thought I was
Because
safe today from the fields, but no, fucking first trend gets me with King smoking in the theater. Because fucking theaters is practically Itsuki's domain.
Domain expansion. Sorry.
And now the Oracle thing. Surprise! It's an Oracle.
Awful. Thanks for that.
Instead of a boy or a girl, it's an Oracle!
I hate it here.
We love it here.
But I am setting up the dorms again. So would you like to? We'll get to your scene because it happens like back to back kind of thing. But I want to see what you guys do to bond. And like I feel like Caesar is absolutely fucking hiding.
That room
If
doesn't have a
not-
lock, but if you open the door, it's just more walls made up of fucking bookshelves now.
So how long has Caesar been hiding himself away then?
Probably half of the recent, like, for him, the perspective would be a couple of days ago.
Okay. Because if it's been long enough, Tsubasa will just naturally get concerned, just like, has anyone seen Caesar? Actually, you want to do that, Kuri?
Let's play it by ear at the moment because I feel like the stable scene is gonna. I don't know what's gonna happen there. I'm still scared because of the Terabithia thing.
I will say nothing bad is going to happen at the stables.
Oh, I know, but my feelings are gonna have. I'm going to have feelings.
So then you're not going to be doing any interactions at the dorm?
We'll find out. I don't know what what Caesar will say right now. I'll put it as a maybe.
The dorms is the next fucking thing you're doing.
So you can't exactly waffle around on that. You're going to have to decide whether or not you're going to be joining in with the interactions.
Sure. I'll think of something. I'll have interactions. I just got nothing on the brain right now.
You do realize that even after having like earth-shattering news given to them, a couple of days they aren't always going to be completely just words. Fuck.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Depending on how the scene at the stable goes, Ren already confirmed that it's not going to be a bad thing. While we don't know the exact emotions that are going to be addressed to it, they don't have to be addressed the moment someone talks to him. Tsubasa would just be going just like, hey, you okay? You want some food? You want some water? Nobody's seen you for the last 2-3 days. Like most people would do if one of their dorm mates suddenly just went completely dark.
Why does Helia give me the impression of that one meme of, what are you doing? It's 3 a.m. I'm making soup.
That tracks.
Because I've lost control over my life.
That is from Rugrats, and he was making pudding at 4 a.m.
Leave me alone. I don't remember things. It's soup.
The same energy.
Ah!
Also, so Tsubasa,
Yes.
you walk into the dorm, rather you crack open the door and all you hear is the, like, not a commotion, but the talking of definitely someone who's in the middle of a game.
Tsubasa pausing at the cracked open door is just like, if I'm quiet enough, I can get to my room and I can take a nap. And so he's just going to slip inside.
Arthur, I need you to do me a favor.
Yeah?
Roll dexterity.
Okay. Save?
Nope.
Okay. Just to check.
Mhm. Oh, jeez, dude.
Alright. Can we actually pause real quick? I do need to pee again.
Fucking.
Actually, what? What? Oh. I'll be right back.
So, that was for Lex.
Yeah.
I figure you understand that. I'll wait to explain those two roles in a little bit here. Because we're gonna have a little bit of a silly thing, because it's something I feel like Razz would do.
Hello? Question mark?
I'll explain.
Okay, alright.
For what it's worth, this is actually going to get ridiculous real fast.
Incredible.
Sorry, I had to pee.
Understandable. It has been like
Anyways,
2.5
so what-
hours.
What did I miss with the dexterity stuff?
So, I'll explain it like this. Razz, you have not exactly been cooped up. You kind of got dragged back with Caesar a couple of days ago. Not because you did anything wrong or Caesar did anything wrong, but because you, as much as you hate admitting it, you understand the concern of a parental figure.
Yes.
And you just obediently went, yep, yeah, okay, and went back to the dorms. And you're not locked there. You can still leave. However, the one time you did leave, you had the most brilliant fucking idea. And of course for you, that obviously ends poorly half the time. But you had the brilliant fucking idea of, if Lex's only fucking awareness of the world around him is being a knight, a bodyguard, someone who protects, why don't you just fucking show him how to race an RC car?
Yeah! Yes!
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Is
So-
this what the dexterity save was for? So that Arthur didn't get his ankles taken out?
Yeah.
Too good.
Yeah, no, Tsubasa sees this.
Yeah.
Just, yeah, no, he slowly closes the door behind him, turns around, sees Arthur fucking dodging an RC car, is just like, what?
It's to the point where in this terrible rat race of two remote control cars, one of them has unintentionally been flipped over, and the only one that's running looks like it's running on spite. Like, and like barely even controlling it. It's practically just Razz over the shoulder turning things and trying to attack Arthur, and Lex is tackling.
Tsubasa's going to go over and pick up the flipped over RC car and just like look it over. Does it still look in running condition?
It certainly looks in a condition.
Yeah,
It
no,
sure does.
eventually he does just set it down, pushes it forward and backward a little bit to see how the wheels go.
Arthur, you have control over your car now.
Yeah, no, Tsubasa looks up after he checks that and it's just like, hey, Arthur, and just points at the car.
Time for a counterattack.
Then just the squeak of no! And trying to, like, spur away. The skitter. And just no, 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 and just clambering because he's literally small enough to clamber onto the fucking desk. It's cheating.
And there was a makeshift ramp somewhere.
Terrible.
Tsubasa gets back to the dorms, immediately chooses to add to the chaos. Justice!
Just from trying to like not be ankle attacked again. Again? Oh, so you've lost before. It's Arthur, of course you have. But just in the middle of laughing us. Hey, Tsubasa.
Hey, Lex. Why?
Razz brought them back and decided that it would be a good idea to teach us how to use these in the middle of the, like, dorms.
It was a pretty stellar idea. You gotta admit it. You gotta admit it.
Do I have to? I've lost these races so many times, and I only just now cornered Artie. So, no, actually, and then sticks
But-
out his tongue.
But you cornered him, and that's the point.
Well, now he has control over the car again, so no.
Yeah, now he's got you cornered.
No, shush.
Close enough. Close enough.
For what it is worth, the cars are still going in something of a direction of a race. However, it looks like they're fucking... You know those fucking goddamn... what is that fucking game? It's not Beyblades, it's specifically Hot Wheels if they were Beyblades.
Bay wheels? I don't know.
I don't
Shut up.
know exactly what you're talking about. But I get what you mean.
Fiend.
Tsubasa, after a little bit, is going to just sort of like skirt around, just like because what time of day is it at this point?
It's around midday-ish.
So after a little bit, it's just like did you guys already get lunch or?
Lex deliberately not answering.
Tsubasa, just after a moment, you guys can see him sigh, and the most exasperated look he can muster, which is not actually that exasperated, just tired. Just sighs and just... Did you guys have lunch yet? Please.
So,
I don't know, Razz, did we?
so you know that look a cat gets whenever you crinkle the bag of food?
Yeah.
Rez snaps her head at Tsubasa. It's like, no. Not had
Tsubasa is
lunch.
giving them all an incredulous look of just... Are you guys okay, or do you just not... Did you just forget to eat?
We were
No.
occupied.
Just the most defeated, They're being kids, Your Honor.
They are being kids. Is Tsubasa trying to have a brain cell over here?
No. You were involved in the chaos. You don't get one.
He's trying. Let him try. Just... We should probably get lunch then. Where's everyone else?
I haven't seen Caesar in a little bit, but that should be fine. He does that all the time. And
How
Helia
long
is
had-
in the kitchen.
How long is a little bit, though?
Do you want the exact date, or do you want me to sound sane?
I would rather you be honest.
That doesn't help me.
It hasn't.
How many days has it been?
Since we went and
You guys left at night, right? Oh,
Yeah.
I should know that. Like he audibly says that of the, oh, I shouldn't know this thing, actually. I had no eyes.
Tsubasa, I'm not going to acknowledge that right now. And if Helia is already in the kitchen, that's good. Has he really not been? He actually, yeah, no, I haven't seen him for a few days either.
Caesar needed Caesar time.
I'm going to go make sure that he at least has been eating and stuff.
I mean, I've brought him a couple of things sometimes, when I remember. But I'm not very good at that either.
Tsubasa looks about ready to throw
Idiot,
one
no.
of the nearest pillows at Lex. Just really?
At least I'm admitting it. Okay?
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna go check on him. He loves his friends. His friends are great people. How is he one of the most put together people in the door?
He's not.
You didn't even let me have that fucking illusion, huh?
No, none of you.
Fuck you.
Not even Arthur's put together.
I never had an illusion of that.
Yeah, no. Tsubasa's going to go check on Caesar. Does Caesar have his store closed right now?
Yep.
Yeah, so there's going to be a knock on his
Hold
door.
on.
Yeah, no, I figured as much. I heard it already. But yeah, no, Caesar's going to just hear a quiet little knock, knock, knock on his door.
The door isn't open, but there is just a... If it's food, you can leave it outside. I'm fine.
Are you sure, Caesar? It's been a few days since you've even come out.
I'm rearranging.
I'm trying to figure out a way to actually get Tsubasa into the room.
My thing apparently didn't want to switch the maps that entire time, but it's fine.
Yeah, no, I was just rolling with it. And now I'm moving Tsubasa up to the doors. Caesar, I mean, we don't have anything made yet, but if you want anything, I can get it for you.
There's no good answer I can give that'll reply to that well, but thank you.
I will
Tsubasa,
ask, is the change in Caesar's voice noticeable to Tsubasa?
Very.
Very. Yeah, no, he's
Super
only growing more concerned, and it's just like, Caesar, you sound a little,
Different?
yeah.
Yeah, that's the tip of the iceberg.
Are you sure you're okay?
I could answer that honestly, and I can answer that where you won't worry.
I mean, to be fair, that alone is making me worry a little bit, but I would rather you be honest if you're comfortable with it, at least.
there you hear a very loud, like, what can only most people understand this. Whenever you pick up a piece of heavy wood from a pile of it, and then the moving of two shelves that were clearly in front of a door as it just pulls open, and not fully, just a bit, and there's where his normal eye line would be is about half a foot higher.
Yeah,
And his
you will
eyes-
see Tsubasa just sort of look where he would expect the eye line to be, blink, and then just slowly trail up.
The once white and green eye is now pure black with still a green pupil or green iris, and the green spots are now a light tan, and he just goes, "I'm fine. Thank you for your worry."
Oh. What happened?
The truth came out. And he doesn't even close the door, he just turns back away, and you can fully see inside now. A couple bookshelves have been fully destroyed.
Yeah, Tsubasa's going to be nosy for once because he sees the destroyed bookshelves and is rightfully concerned after seeing this change in Caesar too. Is just the truth. What do you mean by the truth?
A lot. Nothing. At this point, don't matter. And he just throws the piece of wood onto the pile and moves up to where more shattered pieces of wood are like laying in a corner.
Yeah. Tsubasa doesn't quite leave the doorway, but he does step inside and watches as Caesar does this, and it's just... Do you want some help cleaning up?
Oh no. There's a lot to clean up.
All the more
And-
reason to do it with someone.
Oh, trust me, it is painfully apparent that I am never in fact alone. And he just looks at the darkest corner in the room he can find. Just kind of mumbles, "Ain't that right, fuckhead?"
You're a warlock?
Yeah, apparently.
I mean, I'm a warlock too, so... I don't think I've met mine yet. Well... No, I haven't.
Wouldn't recommend it.
I'm guessing yours isn't very... nice?
Well, let's ask the $1,000,000 questions. Are you here, fuckhead? In the corners? Again?
There's no answer.
And yet I still feel his fucking eyes up.
After a little bit, Tsubasa will sort of scooch over and pick up a piece of wood that he would see on the ground and just sort of move it over to one of the piles he saw Caesar toss some of the wood in. Just... There we go. He's going to help. Is Caesar going to let him?
He's not stopping him.
Yeah. Trying to think of what else they could talk about, though.
There are a couple more points of Caesar that have not been described yet that Zon and Rin know about. Is it okay to describe them?
I mean, we've got someone in there who can directly observe Caesar. Technically.
What was the question?
Can I talk about the changes in Caesar?
Sure.
as he's moving things, his build is a bit different now. He's half a foot taller and almost thicker than before, if that makes sense.
He's gone stockier.
Yeah. Almost like a knight's build sort of thing.
Nice.
Looks directly at Aaron. I don't think you want to use that term.
Shh, it's fine. Yeah, no, Tsubasa helps clean up, but he watches Caesar at the same time and it's just like, if it means anything, I still think that, I mean, well, you look pretty cool, if it helps any.
He kind of stops and just stands there for a minute, and you can like see him physically crick his neck. Yeah. Cool.
I'm sorry.
Pardon?
Is that a pardon out of character or a pardon in character?
In character.
Yeah, just... I'm sorry, that probably wasn't a good thing to say.
Well, you're not wrong, and it's not a bad thing to say. It's just circumstance-wise. You don't know the full story, and I can't blame or hold that against you. It's just... And he kind of just takes a look at his hands back and forth a bit. Bittersweet answers leave a bittersweet taste. You know?
Yeah, I know. It was just... You know, this doesn't actually change you, right, Caesar?
Don't call me that. I'm not Caesar.
Then, what is your name?
Million money question. And he doesn't even move from his spot anymore. He just starts tossing bigger pieces towards the pile.
Tsubasa making sure to not get in the way. Have you thought about a name?
I thought about one, but there's one I know will stick, but... You ever feel you haven't earned a name?
I mean... Yeah, sometimes, actually. It's part of the reason why I'm in the academy.
Sorry, say that one more time. I got fucking distracted.
Oh my god, Kuri!
No, I'm sorry. I had to not laugh at fucking Ren's thing.
Oh, hold on. Okay, what's going on here that I haven't... Oh. Get
dog,
your
man.
fucking dog, man! It don't bite! Yes, it do! I can
Yeah.
see that happening, actually! Just like
That's
the
why I'm-
underneath the surface thing!
That's why I need you to repeat it, because that took me fucking out. I had to move my mic away.
Okay, hold on. Let me try to find that line of thought back.
God damn, Ren.
Oh, shit. Do you remember what was last said?
Yeah, he asked if, have you ever had to earn a name?
Ah, yeah. And Tsubasa just sort of shrugs after a moment as he dumps a new armful of smaller pieces of wood, honestly, into the pile. Just, well, I mean... To be honest, it's part of the reason why I'm at the academy. know it's a different name than what you mean, but I can understand that.
You can physically see, like, the thoughts in his mind racing as he just kind of takes a moment and picks up a rather large piece of wood with just one hand and starts thinking. You ever had to realize you need to earn a name from an asshole who was taunting you? Asshole who you went to search for, and you found him all right, and he fucking throws it hard at the pile this time, showing why there's a pile.
Yeah, no, Tsubasa fucking dodging like 5 feet back, just
Taunts you like he knew everything from the start, because he probably fucking did, and you were left in the goddamn dark. Trust no one who knows the answers. Not knowing fuck all.
I mean, Tsubasa does hesitate for a moment because he realizes he doesn't exactly have the words to make anything better in this situation. He can't do that. And just after a moment, just... Well... You say you're not Caesar, and you haven't earned your name. So what do you want to be called? Because we can't... If you're not Caesar, then just calling you Caesar would make you upset, wouldn't it?
How could I put this in a way that's easy to understand? Imagine you have a twin. You look alike, but you're not the same. And he just now peacefully picking up small pieces of the wood, just goes over to the pile and starts fixing it up. Something happens to that twin, and nobody knows. So instead of calling you by your name, they call you by your twin's name. Eventually, you forget yourself. That sort of thing. And it's bad that I don't remember or know what to call myself. I can say, hey, maybe Hyde would work, but then I'll get in some sort of trouble. You know, can't be the villain. If I didn't even know it was a part of the story. Or role in the story.
Then we can look for another name. I mean, you've got lots of books.
I do.
We can find a name in one of them. At least until you feel like you can go by your actual name or the one you earn.
He takes a moment.
Tsubasa does offer a smile while Caesar is taking the moment. It's just like, I bet we could ask the others for help too. They probably would have fun.
Caesar does not respond and simply walks over to a book that, if anyone has ever paid attention, has never genuinely been closed. And he digs around a bit.
Tsubasa creeps a little closer, but he's waiting. He's watching as Caesar digs around, just doing the puppy head tilt. Just, what you doing?
This was my mom. Caesar's mom's favorite book. It was the only real long-term gift he was able to keep. And he flips a couple pages. It's a collection of his favorite stories. Jekyll and Hyde, Moby Dick, Red Riding Hood, all sorts of stories. Flips and flips until he gets to the thickest part of the book, which anybody who's knows books knows that there's a clump of pages that have never been turned, and in that clump there is a small discrepancy in the page, and Caesar, with quotations, digs his nail into the side of the discrepancy and pulls back the latch, showing a small safe in the book.
Oh.
It was where he kept his most prized possessions. And he opens the safe. In it, there are a couple items: coins, hairband, flowers. One flower as he picks it up.
What kind of flower is it?
It is an aster flower. As beautiful as a star and as welcomed to the earth. The aster flower. That was our old saying.
That's
From
honestly...
what I was told, or what he was told, it was that saying that got Julius's attention.
Does Aster sound good for you then?
It does.
Then I'll call you
But
Aster.
I haven't earned that yet.
You don't?
I haven't. So much to apologize for. So much time to make up. Things that have been running wild that I could have helped with.
Well,
And
sorry.
now there's he's saying this as he slicks his hair back a bit, kind of in that messy slick back, and then sets the flower into his hair. Now there's a psychopath that looks like Caesar's ex-boyfriend, running around, taunting people, doing fucking who knows what.
Well, that... Yeah, Tsubasa just pauses for a moment, his brows furrowing as he hears about this, and just... No! No!
Yep.
And then he just huffs.
Yep.
That's just rude.
That's why the pile exists.
I figured at this point. Well, if you feel like you can't be called by Aster, then... I almost said Terra, but...
Woof.
No, no, we're not
Ow.
going to do that.
No.
You'd get two people with that one.
I would.
Yeah.
But no, he just stands there for a moment. Thinking.
Tsubasa.
What? I'm sorry.
Aster's fine. You don't always gotta earn the crown to wear it, you know?
Yeah, you're right on that. I still think Aster is a good name for you.
Yeah.
Are you going to be telling the others?
So far, you, Razz, and as weird as this sounds, I'm pretty sure Lex are the only ones that really know.
Lex
Razz
knows
was there, you got told, and Lex just
He
knows things. I don't know how, but he knows things.
I think he's just really good at it.
Yeah.
Well, I was about to go make some lunch, and I mean,
I'll tag along.
I'm sorry?
I'll tag along.
Alright. Let's go get some lunch made then.
Yeah, I need to go to the kitchen anyway to get some matches.
Alright, yeah, they just head over to the kitchen.
As Aster is like just walking away, he's got one of those like sinister resting faces, and it just shows off the fucking bear fangs he has.
He has the teeth.
He has teeth like a fucking bear.
And just
Shut. Sorry.
he knows things except when he doesn't.
He don't know shit. What shoes he got on?
But Tsubasa probably will be just sort of idly chattering at Aster, just probably talking about just like, I went on a walk today and I actually saw some really interesting things. Not at all mentioning his meeting with the Grandmaster.
Bluntly, Aster just goes, "Oh fuck. That reminds me, I need to head out and talk to the Grandmaster and apologize. Should have fucking listened to her."
Well, she's probably a little busy, actually.
I also gotta question her because she was dead on the fucking nose about what was going on, but just not in the way I think she knew. And if she did know, I got questions.
You guys
Knowing
know
new
the
things.
expression of a person who knows things and knows that he cannot say them?
Yes.
That is the look on Tsubasa's face right now. Just, anyways,
Walks into the kitchen. Hey, Helia.
and Tsubasa ducking around, just like, hi, Helia, do you want to, or?
Want to what? Oh, food, yeah. Fucking starving.
They just, everyone fucking starts making lunch.
Helia would have waved and given them both a confused look like, yeah, hi, what's up? What's going on?
Or, well, just ends up next to Helia, it's fine. It's a small kitchen.
To be fair, it's not small. There's a big-ass table in the way.
Yeah, it makes it feel small.
Big-ass tables have that effect.
Caesar's digging through the magic cabinet, just trying to find basically just full-on raw meat at this point.
So I have a thought, okay?
Yeah.
Whenever Rez hears someone going in the cabinet,
Immediately
just-
fucking.
oh yeah, I'm sending like a specific image I have in my head of just like takes off.
Fucking gone.
Throws
into-
herself over the table and lands on the other, tries to land on the other side. Whether or not she does.
Whether or not she does, Tsubasa still jumps. It's just like, hey, Razz.
Nah.
Razz, before I get to the whatever the hell's gonna be happening with Lex and Arthur in a moment here, you target lock onto S'mores Pop-Tarts.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
If the s'mores Pop Tarts are near Tsubasa, he just casually he'll notice it, and then he'll just push the box a little bit farther from himself.
Where are the s'mores Pop Tarts, Ren?
They're right next to Caesar.
He's going to grab them and just hold them up as high as he can. Just going, no, no, no.
Literally weaving in between the chairs.
I'm gonna fucking share him, you fucking
How
psycho.
tall? How tall is Caesar?
I have not done the math. He's half a foot taller from what his original height was. His original height is in city, so let me go look it up.
Didn't you say like 5'7" or something?
He was 5'11" before.
Oof.
So
Stop
Okay.
making your characters freakishly tall. Stop
Why
it.
was he 11? Hold on. No, he was
Stop
supposed
it.
to be normal height.
he was what?
Yeah. He was supposed to be normal height.
Then he
Changing
gained
it to
6
5'7".
inches.
Lex.
Yeah, he should just be 6'2" now.
Sorry.
Seriously, Lex, right now?
Listen, we don't need to talk about that.
No, we can talk about it later. Anyways,
Mm.
Yeah,
I just have
he-
to note, because Razz is 6 feet. She's not used to not being able to reach
Oh.
shit. She can't. She's gonna react very differently.
He's just 2 inches taller than her. That's it.
to
Okay,
be fair,
so she's-
2 inches can give you a lot of reach.
She's still gonna
Don't
try to snatch
encourage
him.
him.
I'm not trying to! He's encouraging his damn self!
Better
Jerry,
yet, whenever she
yelling,
comes
please.
Sorry.
over, crawls on the chair as like leverage to try to get to it.
Stop it.
Razz, please.
Fucking psycho.
Just Tsubasa next to Helia, but we're cooking.
Pop Tart.
You're
Pop
gonna
Tart.
ruin your fucking dinner. Stop it.
Just one.
Helia looks up at Sue like, I'm 5'2". What do you want me to do? Without saying a goddamn word.
Tsubasa looking back at her is just like, I don't want you to do a damn thing. I want them to help.
I feel like
Shrug emoji.
It's just the hard cut of Aster's hand just on Raz's face, like, no, get away.
At this point, she's just trying to smack it out of his hands so she can try to like, even if it spills, she can grab a pack or several.
Oh, well, hold on. We'll get back to that, you fucking squirrels. Arthur, you just saw Razz take off at practically Mach 4 towards the kitchen.
Hey, Lex.
And even Lex looks stunned.
Do you want a temporary truce?
Temporary? You're my best friend. Of course it's a truce.
Well, let's change targets.
Oh no.
The immediate shift from I'm the most innocent person here to I will kill God on sight. Arthur knows what he's doing.
So we're about to have 2 RC cars limp their way into the kitchen.
Pretty much. And because of how I know RC cars work, there's a certain range that you can't go past, so
So they have to follow.
mm-hmm.
Tsubasa with his 24 passive perception. Do you guys hear something? Because RC cars are not that quiet.
They're not. They're very chaotically loud.
Yeah, so Tsubasa's just gonna start looking around. It's just like, Helia, do you hear that?
Even with the 15 passive, absolutely.
Confused, Helia look at him because, yes, she does hear that. What the fuck?
That sounds like the cars Arthur and Lex were. He just slowly pans over to the door. Oh no.
Oh, yes.
And he immediately, in a momentary out of character moment, just scrambles onto the table. And then looks at Helia as just like, you might want to get on the table. You might want to get up somewhere if you don't want your ankles taken out.
Helia slowly pulling a stool over and, like, kneeling on the stool. Because she's the exact same height at this level and can continue making soup.
Yeah, Tsubasa's just going to sit on the edge of the table and watch as the RC cars come screaming in.
The other two on the other side of the room are gonna have to fucking fight for their lives.
I feel like full on Caesar is just like not even holding the box anymore. He's just holding on to Razz and trying to push her away from the box. Stop it.
Tsubasa's looking at the both of them, and he's considering warning them.
I don't think anything could break Razz's
Attempts.
intent on this box of Pop-Tarts. That wouldn't be as important to her if someone were not denying her it.
Hence the reason why he is not warning them, and he just sits and waits.
I feel like Lex's RC car literally just stops dead, not because it got out of range, clearly, but because Lex is too busy laughing himself basically into, like, wheezing.
Oh my god.
Because he can hear the chaos from there, and he doesn't know if it's from, he doesn't know if it's from what they're doing, or if it's from something else, so it's making him giggle more.
Can I cast Minor Illusion on the RC cars?
You can certainly try.
And make this worse? Because Helia is going to look at Tsubasa, and she's going to see this strangely mischievous look cross his face as he stares at the RC car just stopped in the middle of the floor and just... Hey, Helia.
Hmm?
What do you think would get Razz's and, his attention the best?
I was about to say, more Pop-Tarts.
So Tsubasa just points at the RC car, and now it is a box of s'mores Pop-Tarts on wheels. And he just sits there for a moment, watches it, because I'm assuming it's not moving just yet, yeah? Ren! 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 No!
You want, bitch?
Tsubasa cast Minor Illusion. The RC cars are now boxes of s'mores top Pop-Tarts. And Lex's car is still sitting there, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, Tsubasa just leans towards the door and is just like, you can keep going, Lex!
I think that's what makes him laugh even more, because he's not even trying to hide. You ever hear someone laugh themselves to a point of breathlessness?
Yes.
Lex is about 0.3 seconds from just full-on falling over.
Yes.
Arthur's car is going to get the same fucking treatment. Especially if Lex continues dying.
He's dying, give him a minute.
If either of them do drive the box of Pop-Tarts at her, I would love to roll perception.
Oh no, Tsubasa's going to... Tsubasa apparently spoke with Gwen and then chose Menace. Because once the RC cars start moving again, he's going to be getting Razz's attention to point them out.
I love how both Arthur and Lex are doing this, and they've apparently memorized the layout of the fucking kitchen.
So we've got 2 boxes of S'mores Pop-Tarts driving around.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Tsubasa's going to do just this loud whistle to try and get Razz's attention. And if she turns around to look at him,
He only moves her eyes.
Yeah, no, he's just going to gesture down towards the ground. As one of the RC cars just...
Can I roll this perception? I want to see if she's fooled by the Pop-Tarts on wheels.
It'd be insight.
Hold on.
Insight?
Can I add thaumaturgy to help out?
Oh my god!
Sure.
So Aster sees this and it's just like, I can make this better. Yeah, if you create an image of an object such as a chair, muddy footprints, or a small chest, it must be no longer than a 5-foot cube.
Oh, she's not doing so good.
So
that's a 13 on insight, and my spell save is 18. So yeah, no, she's so fooled.
I'm gonna make this so much worse. The illusionary Pop-Tarts are now have a heavenly glow around them.
Oh my god, he's about cat laser.
Yep.
Wherever this thing is going, it goes from just moving her eyes to look at whatever to, I gotta have those Pop-Tarts.
I gotta have the divine Pop-Tarts.
Gotta have the glowing Pop-Tarts.
And now
Literally,
Tsubasa is dying of a giggle fit.
Literally knocking over this red chair in the process of going after one of them.
Make an athletics check.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, perfect. 0.
Nice.
You fool fucking Keanu Reeves bolt over the fucking chair without barely disturbing it. And it's just like, gotta have it, gotta go. Ignore you motherfuckers.
Fucking I'm probably sliding underneath the table too.
Oh. What kills me also is that in the midst of all this, Helia's just making soup.
Yeah!
She has lost control of everything and she is making soup.
Relatable.
Tsubasa's just dying of laughter because, oh, this turned out a lot better than he expected. And he was already expecting something similar.
So, my question is whether or not Razz catches this RC.
I have a feeling you're chasing Arthur's RC car, so you motherfuckers are gonna have to roll for it, because you know this bitch is absolutely good at controlling things.
Yes!
I'd
Please.
say dexterity checks?
Yep.
Okay.
Because it does take a level of dexterity to actually drive the fucking things.
I want you to know that dexterity is my second lowest.
Unfortunate.
I believe in Arthur.
Me too.
Arthur,
I believe in Arthur too.
we need a hero.
So, am I doing a save or?
Just base check. Yeah,
Yeah.
regular check.
Really check.
No.
I can see Arthur manage to get Razz to run face first into either the fireplace or a wall.
Find out.
Hold on.
Oh my god!
So I took it.
What is this?
It's what happens when you take an RC car to a dog park. That's pretty much what's happening with Razz right now, huh?
Oh yeah. Well, after she eats shit, Cayde, where do you think Arthur? What is Arthur's action? Since Razz failed.
Make her run into something and make it funny.
I don't think that's Arthur's objective. I think it's just keep away from you.
Oh.
If you fuck up, that's on you.
Arthur is in this for the long haul.
Point taken. So, yeah, no, it's just an endless fucking chase until Razz finally exhausts herself.
She's gonna be going for a second. Until it occurs to her to question why the RC car, why the Pop-Tarts have wheels.
Yeah, after, how long does minor illusion last again? Let's see.
I think a minute.
1 minute. So yeah, she's only chasing it for a minute before the illusion drops. And she can probably hear Tsubasa's giggling behind her.
It's just an immediate, what the fuck?
Sorry.
I wonder if you can do donuts in your RC car.
What?
I wonder if you can do donuts in your RC car.
You absolutely can.
Nice. Time to do that.
The heavenly light will persist for a full minute.
So they probably will end at around the same time then. Also, I don't know about anyone else, but Cayde is so fucking quiet, I'm pretty sure we're not going to be hearing him on the recording. I can barely
Might be
hear
away
him.
from his mic.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Razz is just going to see Tsubasa dying of laughter, but apologizing.
Just the immediate, did you take the Pop-Tarts?
No, it was an illusion.
And Pop-Tarts real big.
What? Sorry.
Helia dully from where she's making soup. The Pop-Tarts were never real to begin with.
It's her in a crisis now. Crumbles to the floor with her hands in her hair.
Don't throw a temper tantrum, there'll be soup soon.
Not a Pop-Tart. Stays where she's at.
She's just I wanted the Pop-Tarts!
She's right beside a stool, right beside a seat, but she's chosen her spot on the floor.
Helia turning around, handing Sue a crescent roll. Give this to the child.
Yeah, and he just leans over and hands Razz the roll. It's just like, here you go.
She just takes it with her teeth.
Tsubasa ends up just
Returns back to her bowl.
Tsubasa just, as she takes it, just instinctually pats her head, pauses for a moment, and just, wait, that would, anyways. doesn't know why he did it. It just seemed appropriate, and now he's embarrassed himself.
Last
She's
roll of the night. Caesar, roll.
What do I need to roll?
Stealth, motherfucker. Oh, sleight of hand.
You're hiding the Pop Tarts.
You're hiding the Pop-Tarts from Razz.
Nope. You guys hear a shit ton of crinkling.
Well, no,
Aster is
depends
eating
on
the
Razz's
Pop-Tarts.
perception.
Yeah, well,
18.
Aster has as many Pop-Tarts as he can get in his mouth.
Tsubasa's staring at Aster just like, no!
Fuck you are
To go
going.
try to yank a Pop Tart out of his mouth.
She also put the
He will
Pop-Tart
physically
onto the
fucking
car.
growl.
Tsubasa just looks over at Helia and is just, it really isn't quiet in the dorms, huh?
Shrug.
Eventually he does just sort of hop down from the table and scoots over to try to mediate between these two. Just like, okay, Rats, stop, Rats, you stop, see, don't put any more in your mouth!
Fuck you. No.
And he's just getting the most stern look from Tsubasa. It's just like, just the huff.
Is that enough of an opportunity to achieve Pop Tart? Even a half a one.
Fucking
Friend.
We're not getting into that.
How... No, that's what I was gonna say. How's that we cannot catch you off what was it again?
Off guard.
Yeah. We can't catch you off guard with shit anymore.
You can't. I'm just tired.
Tsubasa's trying to mediate. So far, all he's really doing is getting between them and getting squished.
Arthur, last
Yeah.
thing we'll do for a little bit. Lex stops laughing for a moment and just goes, so, what kind of people are we surrounding ourselves with this time?
Meanwhile, Screech from the kitchen.
What was that, kid?
Fun people.
Are you sure about that?
I mean, I'm having fun. Are you?
He just looks at you with that kind of expression of, I don't know. I mean, I was laughing. Laughing means you're having fun, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then yeah, I'm having fun.
Well, then I'm correct.
You usually are, Artie. And that's where we're in.
Are we good to end the recording then?
Yep.
Alright.